Welcome back to the CS Banter podcast. The streets of Seattle are rocking with the sounds of the World Cup. The
Yeah.
Mariners are on a bit of the back burner right now, I would say, and the U.S. is on the minds of everyone.
Yeah, it's that time every 4 years that rolls around that the U.S. needs to care about soccer. So that time has rolled around. It's exciting for Seattle. It's exciting for the country with a big 4-1 win over Paraguay yesterday. I've been told that's the greatest win in U.S. World Cup history. So glad that we were able to see that.
I'm just over here looking at Yuli. He's really enthralled with this U.S. men's national team, I can tell you that. But yes, greatest win in U.S. history. The boys looked good out there. I was looking at some tweets after the game last night. All the Euro heads were worried. The U.S. is coming up. The U.S. is going to be a dark horse team in this World Cup now. So it's crazy how things can change. Just like
I tell you what, all those European guys better be worried. Those those Premier League, the Arsenals, the Liverpool, because if America gets soccer, it's over for everyone else. That's all that England has on us is soccer. So,
Well, all right. With that in mind, I have a couple of little soccer trivia questions for you guys.
this should be good.
We'll go a little off kilter here from the Mariners podcast, but
And just to set the context for everybody, soccer is Zach's maybe favorite sport to play. He's been watching it forever. Yuli and I know next to nothing about soccer. I'll watch the World Cup. I'll get into it because it allows me to be the ultimate patriot for a few weeks, and that's always fun. And the World Cup is fun, but I know very little about soccer, so this should be fun.
I don't know, Yuli. I've seen you on the Theta Xi soccer team a couple times.
Hey. All my knowledge comes from old KSI pack opening videos.
Oh, that's good.
Or Road to Shore, too.
Well, I'll start you guys with an easy one. Who won the World Cup 4 years ago?
That was Argentina. I beat you to it.
Oh.
Argentina beat France. I was watching it. It was the December World Cup in Qatar, and Argentina won 3-3.
All right, 3-3.
They won 3-3.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm not even kidding. That's how they
Is
score
this
it.
penalty shootout thing?
That's how they score it when it's penalties. Argentina won the World Cup 3-3.
Like that.
All right, Yuli. I'll throw this one to you. Who won the Premier League this year?
PSG?
That would be the Champions League. The Premier League is the English
I
competition.
was gonna say I don't think PSG is even in the Premier League.
EK, do you know the answer to this one?
Yeah, my lifelong favorite team, Arsenal,
Oh boy, we're off to
won
a
the
strong
Premier League.
start.
Yeah, it's we had Arsenal win it the past few years. Before that, Man City won it, not Manchester United. Historically, Manchester United was the better program, but Manchester City the past 15 or so years has really had the leg up in that rivalry. The days of Sir Alex Ferguson have long passed for Manchester United, but we also can't forget about Leicester City's big beating the odds with their big victory in 2018.
Boy, we got some sneaky ball knowledge from you.
Can you guys tell me the timestamp of when to skip to when we get to baseball?
You're gonna want to skip to 5 minutes past this segment.
Okay.
If anyone listening, well, if anyone is listening, I guess I can leave it at that. If anyone is listening who is really into soccer, I apologize. This is probably very hard to listen to. But I've heard, and maybe Zach can answer this, but I've heard that the World Cup for people in America who are really into soccer is kind of like how March Madness is for me, where I'm into college basketball pretty much all year round. I enjoy the college basketball regular season. And then everybody and their mothers gets really into college basketball for a couple weeks in March. And it is a similar thing with the World Cup where you've been following it. No one else in this country has followed it for the past 4 years. And then we all get into it for a few weeks and act like it's our favorite sport.
There's like two sides to it. Like some people are really like confrontational about it and they're really like gatekeepy about soccer.
Yeah.
And that's like, I feel like it's been a problem for the U.S. fan base in the past. They just get on their high horses, guys like me who have been watching this team for years and can name every single player on the squad down to
Yeah.
probably 10 to 15 players that didn't get called in.
Yeah.
They'll get mad that an Ethan Arles is spouting off some World Cup takes on his Mariners podcast 5 minutes into it, and that Yuli Hammer is telling us to skip the soccer podcast episode. So I don't know. I love seeing it because, like you said, I'm more of a college basketball guy who will only watch March Madness,
Right.
and I think
Right.
there's a lot of fun in that. So the World
Right.
Cup is that for people at the end of the day, especially in the U.S. So give it its flowers. It's, in my opinion, the most fun tournament in the world. It's one of the best 3 weeks of sports that I can really remember in my life. So
Yeah.
lots of memories from it. I'll leave you guys with one last question. Yuli, I'll give you the first answer and swing the bat at
Okay.
this one because I don't think you'll get it. But who is the highest U.S. men's national team scorer in history?
In history,
I think I've got it.
is it the is it that guy that played for the Sounders? I forgot his name. Is it begins with a D or something?
Clint Dempsey, I believe, is who you're talking about. Is that the correct player, Yuli?
I think so. I was just thinking of the guy who's like a star for the Sounders.
Yes,
Phone a friend, bro.
Yeah. Hey,
that
EK, what is his
is
name?
that is Clint Dempsey. EK, do you know the other highest scorer? They're
I,
tied.
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess Landon Donovan.
hmm They are both tied with 57 goals for the U.S.
Oh, so it is. So Clint Dempsey is also right.
Yep.
Well, D&D.
Proud of you guys.
There you go. Bang! Teamwork.
All right, fellas. I guess the reason we got into some of this U.S. talk is we were watching the game yesterday, EK and I, at
Yeah.
the bar in Seattle.
Yeah,
And-
starting that USA chant was one of the proudest moments of my
Oh,
life when everyone
God.
caught on in the Rhinehouse bar,
Just red-blooded American just excellence.
coursing through my veins.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But one thing that I was thinking about during that game is there's a lot of parallels with kind of a national team setup and a minor league setup. It's these guys that you're paying attention to as they're kind of getting better. Maybe they start in the MLS, they go over to Europe, you're paying attention to them and really hoping that they really turn into a star. We have a similar setup in baseball, obviously, with the minor leagues. And the Mariners have one of the better minor league performers of all time right now in Kade Anderson. Cade's spotting a 1.29 ERA through 10 starts. Just absolutely absurd. People are calling him the best minor league pitcher maybe ever. This stretch of dominance is just, it's unheard of. So I'm curious as to your guys' thoughts on kind of when we're going to see Cade, if it's kind of stunting his development at this point, keeping him in Double-A, and then just what we can expect out of him too. Because I think I have a take that might be a little different than what the going notion is right now.
Yeah, I think he probably gets the call towards the end of the summer. I think it'll definitely be this. I won't say definitely. I think it will most likely be this season. At the same time, right now, you effectively have pitchers in your starting rotation. Not effectively, you do have 6 pitchers in your starting rotation. You can't add a 7th to that, you would think. And then it's a question of, do you want your top prospects, your top pitching prospects to start in the bullpen, and the implications of starting a guy in the bullpen and then trying to switch him into a starting pitcher, which what's the time frame for that? When could you possibly see Cade getting into the starting rotation if he starts out in the bullpen? And B, if a guy starts out in the bullpen, he's throwing 2, maybe 3 innings in a game, then do you want to ramp that up to having him throw 6 or 7 innings in a game after a few months? So I don't know if that's a good strategy. So I would say at some point there will probably be, well, maybe not probably, but there's a good chance that there's an injury to the pitching rotation or someone's performance falls off. It might be Castillo. And in that case, I think Cade would slot into the starting rotation in August. But then you have a 6-man rotation this entire season, basically. So there's not any bad options. but there's not one clear great option either. It's a good problem to have that the Mariners have so many great starting pitchers, but I don't think you start him in the bullpen. I think he's probably going to get called up later in the summer.
I think I'm on the same train with Ethan. I guess like thinking about it, like I don't know why we're calling you Ethan, but I just saw your name on the thing. But um, I just saw it being contingent. I just see it being contingent on a trade out of the starting rotation. I'm kind of the same with you. I like we could get him reps in the pen, but I see him either coming up and starting for us in a 6-man rotation, or maybe just finishing out the year in AAA. But it would feel like with this amount of like the sort of dominance we see in a run like this, and also when you see guys like, I mean, it won't happen for every rookie pitcher, but you see a guy like Travis Savage get pulled up and just be fairly dominant in the postseason. Because I mean, part of that I feel like is these big guys have less looks on him. Like I think we can see that play out. I can see that kind of being the roadmap for him.
Hmm.
I see us trading Castillo for maybe like a bat. I'm not sure who that would be yet, or even honestly, like another bullpen arm at this point, just to add the depth. But realistically, if I was gonna bet, if I was putting money on this, if I was running up to Polymarket or Kalshi, I'd definitely be. I'm seeing him on the big league mound by the end of the season. I think it's late though. I think, or it's either after like a Castillo trade, but I think he's basically rolling in with maybe a start or two under his belt for the postseason. Yeah.
Would you trade Kade Anderson while his stock
Never.
is maybe as high as it'll be?
No, I think we'd regret that forever. I think we have other pieces to trade. Like even like honestly, because it's also just how young he is and where he is at his contract. I think we just get so much value by keeping him.
Hmm.
And we have a lot of arms, but I don't know if we're going to sign all these arms. So at a certain
Yeah.
point, he might be like, we're going to be relying on some of these younger guys on these, what is it, like pre-arb like contracts. Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I'm going to take this a completely different direction. I think both of you guys are wrong. I don't think Kade Anderson will make a start this year. I think he will 100% go into the bullpen. I think it's the biggest need the Mariners have right now. I think you're really looking for, honestly, a middle reliever at this point who can just eat some innings in the pen, who you can be kind of confident out there with his control too. The Mariners have so many wild-ish pitchers out of the pen. You've got Munoz, who just doesn't have any control like half of his games, it seems like these days. You've got Matt Brash, who almost hit 3 Orioles players in the head on like 3 consecutive pitches. And not to say that these guys don't have talent. Like Matt Brash has been great for us this year. Andres Munoz obviously hasn't, but he has it in him. I think Kade Anderson, his pinpoint control, the amount of pitches he has, I think he can be a very solid reliever for you, and there's just no spot in the starting rotation, and that's just how it is right now. And I think you'd much rather have someone kind of build up to being a major league arm by being in the pen than building down one of your starters today and kind of cutting their innings short. So I see Cade being in the pen for the rest of the year. I think he's up in a month. I don't think you can hold him down there in Double A. And Yuli, to your point, I don't think the Mariners will ever put a pitching prospect into Triple A Tacoma just with the hitting environment that's there. They didn't do it with Brian Wu. They didn't do it with, I don't think, they might have done it with a couple starts with Castillo, or sorry, not Castillo, with Gilbert and with Kirby, and then they didn't do it for Bryce Miller either. So I don't see him going to AAA. I see him coming up within the month, and I see him being a bullpen piece for the rest of the year.
Well, if Kade Anderson, if you're going to put him in the bullpen and he's ready to do it right now, then and bullpen is your biggest need, and you're debating trading somebody
Yep.
to get a bullpen arm at the trade deadline, then why isn't Kade Anderson wearing a Mariners uniform today?
Well, again, I think it's within the month. I think what they're doing right now is they're trying to build his innings up because he is 1 year out of college. I think you
Yeah.
build his innings up while you can, and honestly, they're probably waiting until they think they have to right now. And with the way the bullpen has been the last couple weeks, have to is coming sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you have to do anything when you're in the AL West and the other teams are the Astros, Rangers, A's, and Angels. I mean,
But what if
I
you
think
had to?
I guess if you had to, then you would do it.
Yeah,
You
if you
had
had
to.
to. Yeah.
I agree with Yuli though. I don't think you trade Kade Anderson. I think there's so much value in a cost controllable arm who can be an absolute star. I mean, he's depending on which ranking system you look at, the number one arm in baseball right now. And like I said, he's having one of the best minor league systems of seasons of all time. Um, my hot take though is I don't think Kade Anderson will ever be an ace. I think he might not even be a high end two. This guy just screams really good three to me. He screams George Kirby, maybe with a plus. Like he has great control, he has great secondaries. I I just don't know if I quite see him being that dominant start of the rotation ace, which I think Ryan Sloan might be, honestly.
Why? Why?
He doesn't have the gas. I mean, he tops out around like 96, 97, which for a fastball on a starter, we traditionally think that that's a lot of gas on your heater. But when you have Jacob Mizorowski these days throwing
Wow.
104.5,
Yeah.
and you've got these starters like Cam Schlittler coming up, like Trey Savage, and just pumping gas, uh, it doesn't, like, for me at least, it just doesn't scream start of the rotation guy.
Yeah, I mean, not everyone is Jacob Mizorowski. I think you don't need an overpowering fastball. Honestly, I think you need a fastball that's at least 96, 97. You can't be Jared Weaver rolling out there throwing a 88 mile per hour fastball. But to your point, I think if you're pitching that well in Double A, that's generally a better comparison than Triple A, just because of the kinds of guys that you're facing. But you really just don't know until you see it in
Yep.
the MLB, and I think you can be a lot more sure, so to speak, about hitting prospects than you can be on pitching prospects. Aside from a guy like maybe Paul Skeens, it's just so hard to tell with
Hmm.
with pitching prospects. So you won't know until you see it because the margin is just so small there. So I think that would be an argument to put him in a bullpen capacity to see. Let's see what he can do against major league hitting, and if he costs you a game or two in the bullpen as a 21-year-old, then so be it. But there's just not room in the starting rotation right now.
I think I agree. I've got one more Mariners prospect that's been kind of across the sphere of talk lately as well. What are your guys' thoughts on Lazaro Montes? Untradeable? Want him like on the team within the year? I'm seeing Yuli's reaction and it's looking pretty tasty.
Yeah. 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 I'm not saying rush this guy, but this guy's a big dog, man. I think in like give me like
Russian.
maybe like one more year.
Rush state to
Like
die.
I think we've always wanted I feel like this is what we've always wanted. We wanted the big dog, the big bat, the big bopper and DH. I don't know. I'm tired of us running out Mike Ford into the no hate to Mike Ford and Danny Vogel, Danny Bombs, but like I've always wanted like a true DH, like for the Mariners, like a guy you actually go in there like a actually puts fear into like the pitcher. And it's always
Vogelbach was an
felt like
all-star, bro.
okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
Bros also be or actually I'm not gonna do that. That was kind of mean. But I mean no hate. That guy's awesome. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like it completely changes the dynamic of the team. And
Mhm.
also like I feel like for it's just been like for the Mariners, besides me like putting throw running like Cal out there, it's kind of felt like most of the time it's just like some sort of like rotation spot, just keeping the guy in the lineup, making sure he's
Yeah,
getting at bats. It hasn't been like there hasn't been like a real force that like like a big poppy or something like that. I know that's like Hall of Fame level talent. That's a different like
like a Nelson Cruz per se.
yes, Nelson. Good. That's actually a good comp. Yeah, that's like the last one I can think of to be honest. But
Yeah,
like just I don't know. I just like we need that to roll out that battleship in the middle of the lineup. We just haven't had that since Nelson Cruz. Hmm.
Mariners have been screaming for a Dominican bopper since in LA.
Hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hmm.
Does anyone know why we have a Double A team in Arkansas? I mean, I'm serious. I've wanted to ask that for a few years now.
I
Old in the Angels farm system, and he's in Georgia right now in Double
Yeah,
A.
it's just dispersed like all through.
I mean, we used to have the Jackson Generals. Anyone remember them?
Yep, the
That's
Modesto
awesome. Yeah.
Nuts
The
got
Modesto Nuts, rest in peace.
Yeah. Worst mascot I've ever seen in my
what?
entire life.
No, no. I love that guy. He's like the planter's peanut. It's awesome.
Hey, they got
That's
nothing on
my
the Montgomery
dynasty football
Biscuits.
team's name, the Nuts.
The Montgomery Biscuits. You've got
Yeah.
the Tulsa Drillers, Salt Lake
Yeah.
Bees. Shout out Henry.
Las Vegas Aces, I think. It's not just the WNBA team.
It's the Reno Aces.
Ah, the Reno Aces.
The
Ah,
Reno Aces. But I don't know which of those teams are double A and which of
yeah.
them are triple A. Or which of Pacific Coast League is triple A.
All right, enough of that talk.
But
I want
anyway,
my answer.
when are we
I want
going
my
out?
answer on Lazaro Montes.
When are we
Yeah.
going out to a Travelers game, fellas? When are we making out to Dickie Stevens Park? Um, yeah, I feel like we've been hearing about Lazaro Montez, Baby Jordan, if you will, for about 10 years now, and he's 20. He's 21, so he's still young, and it's crazy to me because it genuinely feels like he's been in the minor leagues for so long. But I agree with what Yuli said. It would be. I mean, he's a below average fielder, right, Lazaro? But then again, so was Nelson Cruz. So was Jordan Alvarez. So if you have to put him in right field and you have a poor defender out there, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, you want a guy at DH who is just a presence, an imposing presence at the plate. And that's what Cal was last season. But this year, do the Mariners really have that imposing name in the lineup that really strikes fear in your heart? Julio Rodriguez is a fantastic player. Cal Raleigh should be a fantastic player. Luke the Nuke
The
Rayleigh.
nuke.
Luke the Nuke right now is striking a lot of fear in
Yeah.
people's hearts. Josh Naylor is a good player. Randy Rosarena is a really good player, but you don't have that name where you scan the lineup and that's the guy. That's the guy that you're pitching around. That's the guy that you're afraid to. You better not throw a fastball over the middle of the plate too. So hopefully Laz can be that guy. I would hope that his call up is approaching, but it feels that he's still has a ways to go. So I think we won't be seeing Laz in the lineup for a while.
And that's where I agree with you. I think he has a lot to work on. I'll give you a quick rundown of some of his splits. He is OPSing 609 in home games. For you non-stat heads at home, that is not good. His average is 162, and he's slugging 333. And his away game splits, he's OPSing 1200.
I was gonna say I've got his stats up, and his OPS is 911.
Yep.
And I can't fathom how he would possibly have a 600 OPS.
So Arkansas's ballpark is the least hitter-friendly ballpark, maybe in the minors. So
Wow.
I'm kind of like I'm kind of looking into those a little too much. But the one I actually care about, his lefty-righty splits. Against lefties, he's OPSing a whopping 492 right now. And against righties, that's a healthy 1118. So this guy mashes righties, which a lot of the Mariners lineup does right now. We just really struggle against lefties. So I don't think you're going to get Laz within the next year, maybe not even within the next two. He's got to fix those splits. Right now, he is a platoon bat, just first and foremost. He's a Luke the Nuke Rayleigh. That might actually be a good comp for him. He's got a high strikeout rate. He's tall. He's
That
big.
is disappointing.
He can hit home runs.
I just really like Nuke Nuke, really.
That Laz Rob Refsnyder platoon is gonna go crazy next year.
Hey.
Families.
All right, we'll close it out with a non-baseball take. How about that?
That sounds pretty good.
So I was debating this with a few while we were in the car, and a song came on, and so I rattled off this take, and it generated a little bit of debate, but I'm standing by it. I think that if you were given the aux for the entire universe, and 8 billion people are listening to you, and you have the aux, and you've got to play one artist, I'm going with Pitbull. Fate of the universe on the line, and the Martians have the death beam pointed at planet Earth. I want Pitbull on Aux for the entire planet to save humanity. Here's the thing, guys. I wouldn't even consider myself a huge Pitbull fan, and maybe not even a Pitbull fan at all.
Mm,
I don't particularly know the guy's music all that well. I don't know the guy as a person really at all. I
mm,
don't follow his he's probably not one of my top 10, 15 most played artists of all time. But I think that his music is so universal. It
mm,
transcends languages, it transcends cultures. It's not, some of his songs have swearing in it, but you can find the clean versions and play it without it having being super weird or having pauses in between. So, it's clean, it gets people moving, it gets people dancing, singing along. Just it's happy, it's happy music. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel like, life is a beautiful thing. I want Pitbull, Fate of the Universe on the line.
It's crazy that you said that because I wasn't sure where you were going with it. When you said song and aux, I was thinking, oh yeah, I could get behind a little hopped off the plane at LAX.
yes.
But
But
that's USA. I love that song, but that's USA. I mean, how's that gonna play everywhere else in the world?
and then when you said artist, immediately thought Pitbull, and then it came
Yeah.
from your mouth. So
Yeah.
Wow.
it's not good content. I agree completely. I can't even think of another option.
I was gonna say like Michael Jackson. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe not
Michael
now.
Jackson, but
Maybe
he's
not
got
now.
he's got the, he's a controversial figure. Pitbull, you don't have any controversy there.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
that show in Alaska. He's a good guy.
Pitbull did.
Yeah. Or,
Oh yeah,
was
there
that him
you
or
go.
Justin Bieber? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was.
I thought
Well,
you
I'll
were gonna
say it
say a
was
little
Pitbull. Why not?
1738.
Really? Little Fetty Wap?
I would
Yeah.
not play Fetty Wap. I would not play Fetty Wap. That's
So it's like
probably
how he
closer
played
to the
it
bottom.
200 times. Or no, it was way more than that actually.
Yeah, I used to listen to 679 every
That
morning
one, okay, yeah.
before I went to high school to hype myself
Yeah.
up. And
Mm,
I used to
can't
have
play that.
I can't listen to the song "The Man" anymore. The
Mhm.
well, you
Oh
can
yeah.
tell everybody. I can't listen to it anymore because
Mhm.
it was my alarm clock in for like 5 years, from probably seventh grade up until like junior year of high school. Because that would like, hype me up when I got up in the morning, ready to go to Mr. Wright's seventh grade English class, seventh grade language arts class. But then I switched over to 679 junior and senior year of high school.
Mm.
Heading to Mr. Lasby's English class for first period.
Can you give us a little rendition of that?
No, I wouldn't. That wouldn't be cool. I'm not. It's been a long episode, guys. Maybe another time. But favorite Pitbull song, guys. I like "Feel This Moment" by Pitbull and Christina Aguilera. I remember listening to that one in the Somerset Elementary School
Mhm.
fifth grade graduation party. We went to the Somerset Rec Club,
Oh.
and I remember that song distinctly. It was the one song I remember being on, and I remember doing sit-ups in my room, getting ready, getting ready for that because I knew I was gonna have my shirt off at the pool party, and so
Mm.
I don't know if the sit-ups worked or not, but I remember
I'm
hearing "Feel This
yeah.
Moment."
I'm changing my answer to "Around the World" by Daft Punk. Yeah,
But you
that's
don't
it.
get to pick this. You don't get to pick the song though. You pick the
You don't?
artist, and it shuffles one of their. That's the
Also
stipulation.
pick Daft Punk.
Daft Punk is a good pick, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can get
Mhm.
That's
behind that.
solid.
Mhm.
Fireball, Pitbull. Do do
Whoa.
do 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 do.
I'm gonna be honest, I have to look up the songs again.
You got hotel room
I'll just,
service, give me everything, time of our lives, international
oh,
love.
Time of Our Lives. Time of Our Lives.
All
Yeah,
right, all right.
easy.
Every day is above ground is a great day. Remember that, guys. We'll leave you with that for this episode.
That was a good send.
God, that was clean. Great
That was
finish.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.